Howdy everyone, it's your buddy BP back at it again in Smite, playing as Ganesha again. Ganesha is starting to become new Geb for me. I'm really starting to enjoy playing as him. I might have to get him on, get a diamond for him, which should be, picked a good weekend to do it because it's double everything weekend. So I got a few mastery levels up with him this weekend. It's a really fun god to play now that I finally gotten the hang of his kit. Took me a while to get used to him. It was kind of funny. I was the folks I'm playing with in this match, I was actually playing with them against them rather in the previous game I had before this, and in the character select lobby, they're all like, "Wait a minute, is this the Ganesha we were playing against last game?" So it was pretty funny. I had to make sure to bestow some kills upon them in this match because I did beat them in that previous game, so had to make up for it, you know what I'm saying? In fact, I got like 5 bestowed kills in this game. I didn't really start doing it until about the later half. So Ganesha is one of those guys where I really don't start getting rolling until late game. But he's mighty fun to play. Anyway, back onto the subject for the video. I was read a recent article. Apparently, Bungie has broken away from Activision. Activision was their publisher for Destiny, and now they've decided to break away from them. They're not going to be published by Activision anymore. They're going to self-publish, and I found that really interesting. Those of you who might remember, before I was considered like a Smite channel, I was actually a Destiny channel, namely back when Destiny 1 was still popular. I was playing a lot of that, and then I kind of just sort of lost interest in it. Kind of just gave up on playing Destiny, and switched over to Smite, and that's kind of been my thing for a while. Of course, I'm trying to play other games on the side as well whenever I get the chance. I'm still working on that Dark Souls 2 playthrough. I'm still recording it, so it's been it was a busy week for me, but I'll talk about that later. But I thought it was really fascinating that they broke away. From what I read when the news was announced, the folks over at Bungie were like popping champagne bottles. Apparently they really did not like having to work with Activision. From what I understood, like Activision wanted them to come out with like a new Destiny game every year, or at least a new expansion and everything, or at least do it more frequently. Like they were trying to turn Destiny into new Call of Duty, which is just gross. You know what I'm saying? But now they've broken away because apparently Activision was upset that Destiny wasn't making all the money in the world, so Bungie is going to self-publish now. And I always thought, and I'm really interested to see where they're going to be going with that, because I did enjoy Destiny for a while when I was playing it. Every once in a while I find myself kind of reminiscing a little bit when I would play Crucible matches, and I would get headshots with my Queen Breaker's bow, or I would go around smacking people with shoulder charge or something. You know, I kind of miss that. I thought it was really fun, and it's kind of a shame that those days are over, because I mean, I was playing Destiny at launch when the game first came out, but let me tell you, I haven't played a single second of Destiny 2, and they have loaded that game up with so many microtransactions. And I don't mind microtransactions in a game as long as it's something like Destiny, because this game's free to play. And the people who made this game, they got to make their money back somehow, right? It helps support like the competitive community and everything. And so I don't mind it for that, but for a game like Destiny, there's like, I mean, you're already paying like $60 just to get in the door, and then they're loading up with more microtransactions. One thing that really disgusted me was shaders. Like, you had to pay for a shader, which used to be free. You know, you used to like earn them in the previous game. And now it was like a microtransaction, and not just that, but it was a one-time consumable. You used to be able to, like, you know, switch shaders out whenever, and for a while, you know, you could, at least in the later part of Destiny 1, like, when you got a shader, you got it permanently. Like, you just go and retrieve it from, like, I can't remember where it was, from the shader merchant or some kind of kiosk, but whenever you got a shader, it was yours. And it wasn't a consumable, and they made it a consumable, and you know, you had to pay money for it. And that really grossed me out. I did not like that at all, and it really turned me off to the idea of playing Destiny 2. But now they're going to self-publish. They're not going to be doing it like the way Activision wants them to do it, and that has me interested. A little interested to see what the future of Destiny is going to be. I want to know, because it was making money. It wasn't like it was a huge failure. It's just it wasn't making obscene amounts of money. You know, it wasn't making all the money in the world, and that's the kind of thing that's got me nervous. It's like there's a lot of like investors for all these big AAA publishers now that are just really upset that they're not making all the money in the world. I was reading somewhere that investors and shareholders were upset that the recent Call of Duty, Black Ops 4, only made like $500 million, like $500 million. It made that in 3 days, and you would think, oh, that's really impressive. In fact, that was actually kind of par the course for the previous Call of Duty games. But nope, they wanted it to make even more money than that, and that upset the investors. And when $500 million in 3 days isn't enough to impress investors, and it's kind of a sign that the game industry is poised for some bad times, because there's a ceiling to this. It's like not every game can be Fortnite and, you know, Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, not every game can make all the money in the world, you know, and the games like Call of Duty and Destiny, they were making good money. They just weren't making like obscene amounts of money. But, you know, that's all they care about. They just want to get that super huge payday where it's just all the money in the world. And, yeah, I'm thinking the game industry might be poised for some bad times coming up soon, if that's the way developers are going to be, or rather, you know, publishers. So that's what I meant to say. I meant to say publishers, excuse me. So, I mean, I don't think, like, gaming is going to be dead. I'm sure that, you know, there's, you know, even if there's some sort of big game industry crash of some sort, I'm sure there'll still be people making games, you know, both in the indie market and whatnot, but I don't know, it has me worried. But I am interested in Destiny. I'm curious to see where Bungie's going to take it now that they're going to self-publish. So, you know, good for them. It seemed like it wasn't really an arrangement that was working out well for both parties, because Activision wants all the money in the world. It seems like Activision and Blizzard, because they're both under the same umbrella now, is turning into one of those businesses that are being run more by like bean counters and, you know, shareholders rather than people who make creative decisions, which is kind of gross. But it wasn't working out well for them, and it wasn't working out for Bungie. I mean, they were cracking out champagne when the news broke, so, you know, they definitely weren't happy. But I don't know. I'm curious to see where they're going to go next with Destiny. Who knows? Maybe I might come back to it, depending on how they approach it. We'll have to wait and see. Till the meantime, still, like I said earlier, I'm still working on Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 2 is going to take a while. There's like the base game is pretty long, but there's like 3 DLCs, and I still got to do New Game Plus stuff in order to get all the stuff for the Platinum trophies. Those are spells and all that. They really make you work for it. But yeah, I'm still working on it. It's still making progress. It's just you know, it's been a busy work week for me. I'm trying to do some studying, try to get maybe, because I've been working in the contracting industry for a while, I'm trying to think about maybe breaking into becoming a network engineer, getting maybe a government job, because getting a government job is really good job security. From what I understand, they have a pretty good insurance too. Like, I'm making good money as a contractor, but the insurance sucks. Like, I had to recently re-enroll for the year for my health insurance, and the health insurance my company offers me is just absolute garbage. There's only like 3 plans, and they're all bad. Like, one of the plans, it's like the only people who are in network like aren't even in my state. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this is useless. Why would you even offer me this? You know, I can't make any use of this. And all the other ones are awful. Like, they have, like just terrible deductibles and everything. It's just awful. So, this year I'm probably going to work on getting some studying done. I want to do some, want to get maybe a CCNA and get into becoming a network engineer. Network engineers make pretty good money. And get me one of those government jobs with nice insurance and benefits and job security. You know, everyone else might be furloughed, but they sure as hell aren't going to furlough anyone working for the DoD, that's for sure. There would be a military insurrection in this country if something like that happened. But yeah, I was planning on studying this weekend, but, you know, I got caught up doing other stuff at my job too. So, like I've mentioned it before, I do IT support, I do a lot of desktop support stuff. And, a lot of it has to do with, like, printers and stuff like that, and we're running really, really low in printers, and our employers don't want to buy any new ones because they want to save money so they can go buy themselves yachts or go on vacation in Dubai or someplace so they can offshore all their profits or whatever. And these printers that the government buys, they're just doo-doo garbage. It's like, would you spend $1,000 for a printer that can't print in color? No one would. No one. Except for the government, of course. Though they're willing to shell out that kind of money for a garbage printer. And we're kind of running low on them, so I'm trying to teach myself how to cannibalize some of these printers so I can, like, remove all their parts and fix the ones that are currently broke. Because I had a printer this week that had a bad fuser, and some of our older printers we were able to remove the fusers or do it rather easily, and, you know, kind of, you know, extend the longevity of those printers. But these newer ones that we have, it's not very easy to do because of just how they're designed. So I'm trying to teach myself how to cannibalize these printers so we can make more use out of what we have, which is not something I want to do. And let me tell you, I'm still working on it, but it's a lot of work. Like, to do it on the old printers, it was really easy. You just pull out the back, you just take like a flathead screwdriver and pop them out and just switch out the fusers. And this time I gotta open up the back, and I gotta unscrew this, I gotta unplug like 4 different cables, and then I gotta carefully, you know, remove all the side paneling and all the back paneling, and then carefully remove the fuser by hand, and then I gotta do the exact same thing for the other printer, and, you know, put it back in, you know, plug everything back and everywhere it needs to be, and then, you know, fix all the paneling and everything. It's horrible. They really make you do all this work. I'm kind of convinced that they deliberately designed it that way, that it's really hard to do this, so they could force us to just, like, not repair them and just buy more of these printers, which, you know, screw you. And they know what they're going to do it because the government will spend as much money as possible for these printers because they all got, like, sweetheart deals with, like, folks in Congress or whatever, so they can spend oodles of taxpayer money for trashy printers. It's really annoying. I need to get me one of these government jobs and start making real bank. I'm done with this contracting stuff. Money's good, but the benefits suck, and so does the job security. But anyway, that's it. I've rambled on long enough. This fight's almost over. So, like I said, it was a really close match. It came down to the wire, and it was a lot of fun. I'll try to get some more Smite content out in the future. I wanted to get more out this week, or rather the past week, but like I said, it was just turned out to be a really, really busy week for me at work, and ugh, it was gross. I still got other things to do. I gotta go ahead and, like, I think I gotta renew my driver's license too. It might be expiring soon. I'll have to go and check. Yeah, the work is never done. Being an adult it's not always fun. But anyway, that just about does it. I'm going to go ahead and leave all this footage here and let you enjoy the rest of this. if you like the video, go ahead and leave me a comment. I love getting feedback from y'all. And until then, y'all be good to each other, and I will see you in the next video.
Okay. Thanks. They see me shuffling my vibe. Come and get some. What you see? Let's go. Press on. It's nowhere to come and get some my vibe. Be right back. You won't get the cake. Double kill. Killing spree. Come and get some. Rampage. You like what you see? I love it. Hey, you're pretty good. Might be. Don't feel my vibe. Come and get some. Attack the minions. Come and get some. Yes, we can. Come and get some. Good game. Good game.